Hello everyone. A lot of people on Facebook will have noticed that I have posted up a petition, and some of you are probably wondering why. Well, I thought I'd maybe just explain a few things to you so that people understand. In 2007 I had some botched surgery, and for 10.5 years I was on about 500 milligrams of morphine a day. Okay. And in July this year, I had to be taken off all of my morphine because it was causing problems in my system. For example, it was causing my lungs to fill with fluid. So basically, it was slowly drowning me. I got admitted to hospital a few months later, and I was completely clean of opioids. And within the first couple of minutes of arriving in hospital, even though I told them I was a recovering addict, they were trying to push opioids down my throat, and I constantly said no, even though I was screaming in agony. And I did give them some options, for example, gas and air, which, if you're in labour in a nursing home hospital, I really hope you don't get gas and air, because their own literature states that you can't have it for any more than 20 minutes. So that's a bit of a laugh. And in case anyone's wondering where I got that literature from, I actually got it from Ayrshire and Arran Health Board in their acute pain guidelines for adults. And it's back to front, I don't know why. So I was basically told by a surgeon that you get admitted and we'll pump you full of opioids to relieve your pain, or you go home. I went home because I wasn't prepared to go through all that withdrawal again. I complained to the hospital about it, and I was supposedly getting a meeting with the assistant director, which never happened. They say 20 working days to get an appointment through. Never happened, totally sidestepped it. I did, in the end, have a telephone meeting with a Miss Dick, no funny comments, who's the Assistant General Manager of Acute Medical Services, who has it stated on my medical records that I have not to be given opioids under any circumstances. Well, I got admitted to hospital on Sunday night, Monday morning, and I stated that I didn't want opioids. They saw on my medical records that I was not to have opioids. My nominated next of kin categorically stated that I was not to have opioids. And when she was leaving, she stated to them again, to 3 different professionals, not to give me opioids. Within a couple of minutes, the doctor came back in and said to me, you take the opioids or go home. At this point, I had been screaming for 6 hours. 6 hours. I mean, you wouldn't leave a dog like that, never mind anything else. And I gave in. They gave me 6 injections of morphine, and then started pumping me full of morphine tablets. I was admitted into the ward, and they kept pumping me full of morphine. In the end, on the Wednesday morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I says, look, I need to go home. I can't keep taking all these opioids. You're going to make me an addict again. And I'm not prepared to do that, because I got no support. I had to go cold turkey when I came off my opioids. I wasn't doing it again. So I found out I've got sepsis, which is blood poisoning. I found out I've got a blocked upper bowel, which could perforate any time. And I also have an extremely high white blood cell count. So basically, what that means, if anyone's in the medical knowledge out there, they'll know, if my bowel perforates, a couple of hours, that's me. The blood poisoning, any time. And the high white cell blood count means there's an infection that they couldn't find. So that's why I've done this petition, and I will also be going to Holyrood up in Edinburgh, and I'm going to be chaining myself somewhere near the entrance to Holyrood, until the health minister, who is Shona Robertson, who hides behind her secretary, who hides behind government red tape. So the only way you can get in touch with her secretary is to write a letter. And as I explained, if I write a letter, it could take about 2 months before they even read it. And if I don't get any healthcare, I won't be here. But listen, that's not a cry for sympathy. Don't think that for a second. I'm a very political person. And when I do my demonstration, I will be on a full hunger strike. I will be chained, padlocked, somewhere near the entrance. I will have the press involved. And if anything does happen to me, I hope Shona Robertson can live with herself, because she is the person that signs off on how treatment should be prescribed in Scotland under the advice of obviously health professionals. Scotland has become the highest rate of opioid abuse in the UK. In Ayrshire and Arran alone, 12% of all admissions into hospital are opioid based. There are more opioid deaths in Ayrshire and Arran than there is to car crashes, drink driving. It has to stop. The health minister is not a legalised drug dealer. If you go for an operation, you're given a couple of weeks worth of morphine when you come out. 5 days. 5 days. And you'll be addicted to morphine, I can assure you. And you will suffer the worst withdrawal symptoms you'll ever suffer in your life. And I know, because I've been there. So I'm asking everyone, please, please support me in this. Sign the petition. Get yourself up to Edinburgh, show your support. And let's see if we can get the Scottish Government to stand up and take notice and look after our young people. Because these drugs are in the schools. In the schools. So our kids are taking morphine. Since when was that socially acceptable? Since when, as a society, did we stand back and allow our GPs, our consultants, to just dish out morphine like it's sweeties? This is what they did in the 70s with Valium. And look what happened there. The practice of distributing morphine like this is a practice from the early 1980s. We are talking about a 37-year-old practice that our teaching hospitals are teaching our trainee nurses and doctors. It has to stop. And if it doesn't, we are going to kill a generation and more off. Please pass this around if you can. I would really appreciate it. Thank you.